So Sony just announced that this Thursday there's going to be an extensive behind the scenes look at the new Horizon Forbidden West. You're going to see first gameplay footage of this new game. And Horizon was a polarizing title. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but enough people loved it to the tune of 12 to 15 million copies sold that a sequel is being made. And if you're into gaming or you're a gamer, you have to check it out, right?
Right.
So Guerrilla Games has said that this is a team effort and they can't wait to show us the first steps into this new world. But something really interesting also, there's going to be a pre-show before the state of play. This is the first time there's ever been a pre-show before a state of play. What could be shown at this pre-show? There's a rumor that Guerrilla is also working on a multiplayer shooter game a la SOCOM. Could we see the first glimpse of that game at the pre-show or the first glimpse of whatever it is they are also working on? But back to Horizon Forbidden West. Here's what I think needs to be changed when it comes to Horizon. These are the things that I did not like about the original game. So, one, the melee combat was awful. There's no way around that. It was just not good. There's no lock on. The animation with the swinging of the spear, it just didn't feel good at all. And it was hit or miss most of the game. Another thing that I didn't like that I'm sure they're not going to change is that the voice acting for Aloy, and I forget the voice actress who does the voice, but it just was so robotic and there was just no emotion in the voice, in the character, and I don't feel that it did the character justice. So maybe they could change that, give her some caffeine or something like that to wake her up, make her sound a little bit more alive. Another thing would be the load times, which I'm sure are going to be worked on if you're playing it on the PlayStation 5. But again, this is rooted in PlayStation 4, so the load times were a bit long, especially there was one load time at the beginning of the game that just takes an extremely long period of time. But as far as the melee combat and maybe like a lock-on or something like that, I think that was pretty much the major complaint that I had with the first game. There are also some side quests that just felt really tacked on and a bit ridiculous, and, a lot of the characters and the way that they communicate to you. But these are all things that if a new IP sells well enough to warrant a sequel, then these are the things that get better with the sequel. These are the ways that, companies make IPs that carry them from one generation to the next. And fortunate enough, this game was met with enough praise and enough sales to warrant the sequel. I think the world was incredibly interesting. I love the idea of, and it's not a new idea, but, the machines taking over and generation after generation after generation, people just forget the fact that they were the ones who were in charge of this world. It's kind of like a Planet of the Apes type motif there where, the apes discover that they were once subservient to the humans, and that's the secret that they're trying to keep. In Horizon, the tribe found out that they were the ones who actually created all of this. They're not the subservient ones. They were actually the rulers at one point. So it's a cool story element to explore, and I'm interested in where they take it with the sequel. And I know graphically, like this is running on the PlayStation 4, what you're seeing here. So graphically, again, this was a game that was almost a generation ahead. Most Sony first-party exclusives are, and they're very exciting. I admit I love the eye candy, and I look for games like this, and I gravitate towards them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they're, in between, kind of like the first Horizon Zero Dawn. So hopefully we learn a lot with this state of play. I'm just really excited to see the world. There's a rumor that they wanted to have flying in the first game, but because of the limitations of the PS4 at the time, they couldn't do it. But with the Decima engine and the evolution of their tech, maybe they managed to work it in this time, and that would be absolutely incredible. There's supposed to be a lot of exploration underwater, much more exploration in general. much more diverse landscapes and environments for you to explore in. So I'm excited to see that, and that's coming this Thursday, the 27th of May, State of Play. Don't forget about that pre-show. Let me know what you think is going to be in that pre-show. Do you think it's possible we see Guerrilla's other project? Do you think it's possible maybe we see another project from another first-party studio in there leading into Guerrilla's showing of Horizon Forbidden West? Thanks for watching.